Oh, my loves, how are you? So, I know today is the 8-8 portal, and I already did a video yesterday about this, but there was a bunch of you that I spoke with yesterday or responded in the comments that you were feeling a significant amount of emotion, a lot of crying and sadness energy. I myself was not specifically tuned in with that, or if I was, it was more in the background because I was focused on so many other things. But when I woke up this morning, it became very, very clear that this energy was present. And it felt like a deep despair, like depression energy, but it also feels connected to old energies and where residuals are clearing out. So I'll just share what I observed, and then you see how this pertains to your situation or not. It felt connected to the counterpart energies, but it actually felt like old residuals leaving all of the parts or distortion or confusion that was not actually true, also no longer connected to the energies that we're in now. So, sort of like this energy and essence of where we're dropping in the results and where we're moving into that new higher timeline. Like today, how we're going to work with the circle energies and move into a deeper anchoring of Earth's highest timeline, highest organic timeline, which to me represents the sacred union timelines and the space where we anchor in and ground in where it is that we intended to be as souls. And what's occurring is that the residuals that are no longer a part of that or no longer required in our system are leaving. And you may find this happens even after you've done specific work that just over time, certain energies or dates or solar flares or whatever comes up and sort of brings the residuals left over up to the surface to clear out. In my experience, this is pretty normal. And one of those situations where the work is just being done in that divine and perfect timing. And as we're strengthening into our embodiment of our authenticity and our soul essence, there's less room for those old, chaotic, confusing energies that aren't actually in alignment. There was an energy that I was contemplating on myself very deeply. It's a part of what I've really personally been embodying into, and it connects with our capacity to surrender as human beings. We talk a lot about divine feminine surrender, but this is overall this energy and essence, this capacity to surrender to the higher power, believe it or not, is actually a very important part of the process of becoming aware and more fully responsible for our conscious creatorship with source. And this is where we are traversing the old human programming of thinking that we know better or that we have to push it into action and force things to be a certain way. Okay. When we truly drop into our trust with our higher power and our own direct organic connection to the highest source of our creation, what we're doing is actually aligning with our highest organic timeline. Because as we align with source without the extra middlemen telling us who, what, where, why, and how to be, and we're just aligning with that, it aligns us naturally with our truest, highest potential. And instead of us trying to figure it all out or how to get there, when we keep refocusing back to that essence of aligning with that, it actually starts to naturally bring us those answers and energies. Okay. But also on the other side of it, of course, we're also working with and learning how to unravel and clear out the programming or the information that wasn't actually truly organic to who we are. Places where our intuition or our heart or our dreams were suppressed, where things became inverted or backwards, and maybe in the pockets or places or spaces where we were taught not to trust ourselves and to give our power away to other people. Okay. So there's a difference where we can go and we can learn from people and we can receive their support. But ultimately, it's about you learning what you can from that person so that you can take the reins for yourself, right? And work your own version of it. Like for me, okay, I just started doing Pilates these last couple weeks and I'm going to an instructor and getting one-on-one sessions so that I'm learning it and I'm actually receiving that extra support and focus to support my body and learn how to make sure that I'm working in that alignment. Okay. Which is so cool, right? Like we're literally thinking and talking about being in the highest alignment and then noticing where I'm focusing on actually getting my physical body into alignment and the things that I'm doing in my life feel in alignment with that highest power. So that's just an example. This idea that we talk a lot about surrendering and trusting ourselves and learning to do things on our own is very important. And like I've said to you guys before, it's also important to know when, hey, I can benefit from the support of another person, like me going to the Pilates instructor. I enjoy it. I like the focus. I like the attention. I like learning quickly. You know what I mean? Kind of like I said, looking up multiple recipes and making my own. But we learn from one another as we're going through these processes and still taking the information that works and resonates with us, also taking the inspiration that others offer, right? Whether it's through messages or observing, and also finding how that pertains to you, because sometimes people can share a message or an intention and they could potentially mean it in one way, but you perceive it in a different way. And your perspective actually expands upon the original message or intention, which is how we actually grow and expand together, right? Okay. So I didn't necessarily expect to go off on this when I was talking about the sadness, but this is sort of the streams that we're working through, right? Like as we're clearing out those residuals, as you allow yourself to clear the residuals, to experience the emotion, to experience the memories. Let me know in the comments how you guys have been doing, but I've been noticing things are moving much, much faster. I've also noticed that sometimes things are more intense than they've ever been, but significantly moving much quicker. Like I spoke about in yesterday's video around the solar flares and the intensity of the energies, the stronger that we're getting, the more stable that we are to hold our energies within these very intense experiences, portals, flares, whatever, all of those at once, as we're moving through these energetic ascension processes and we're more stable and grounded and self mastering within that, you will notice that sometimes those intensities ramp up. You may also notice that your capacity to handle that has significantly grown, right? Because you've been working that muscle. Also, you might find, like I did yesterday, that a bunch of the collective is going through a specific wave, and you may not be experiencing it in that way because you may not need it at that time. Or, like me, I sort of felt and understood it better this morning, but it moved very quickly and it helped me understand what was happening with those of you who were experiencing that wave, or at least a part of the perspective of what might be happening. Okay. So I do feel guided actually to get three messages from the Shaman Dream deck, specifically for Lion's Gate. We're just going to go with it. We're going to see what comes through. Oh, okay. So the first card out was Winter's Dream gestation period, which of course we've talked about as always when things might feel slow, but there's a lot of like growth period happening. The fact that treasure hidden in the shadows flew on my lap upside down. What this is revealing to me is that these shadows or these things that may have been hidden from us that have been opening are opening at a very expansive and rapid rate. It feels like some new things are going to be blossoming quite quickly. And what I'm feeling energetically is that it's something that you have not realized at all, or if you did, you've kind of been blowing it off. And it feels like something really big is opening up and coming to fruition. It feels connected to the heart and the high heart and the throat. And it's coming through about some levels of communication. And yes, it can be your own internal communication, but this is actually feeling external to me. So if there is some form of communication that you've been waiting for from a partner, a relationship, a job, a family member, there's some form. I'm even getting that some of you may have been asking or praying for something specific to manifest and you felt like nothing was really happening. You may start to receive communication or awareness around how that is percolating and coming to fruition. With the Wailing Tree reconciliation and how we started this message off with the energy of the despair. This feels like whatever this pocket of despair that is processing is making way for the new energies. It's making way for your own internal reconciliation, but also it very much feels like with this communication that there's something that's wanting to reconcile. It feels in multiple ways. Some of it may be things that are closing out and some of it may be reconciling, like coming back together. But it very much feels like a completion and an end of an old, painful cycle. It feels like this is completing out. And yesterday I spoke about a 3 to 4 month period. So it feels like this is in process and you're going to see results coming up, in the next days and weeks. But it really feels like whatever this energy is, it's going to be more fully and completely resolved within the next 3 to 4 months. Okay. All right. Let's get a few tarot just for the fun of it because there's a little bit of time before the sacred circles. What do we got? Whoa. Oh, okay. We had a whole bunch of stuff fall. Wow. Okay. This is very fascinating. I'm going to read what's on the floor. We have the King of Swords, the Moon, the Star, the Sun, and the Tower. And then there's some other cards face down. But the way that these have landed feels significant as well. And to me, it feels like this process. Those were some of the cards we picked yesterday. Hold on. I'm going to try to put these on the table the way that they fell. Oh, I love when stuff like this happens. Oh, we're going to reveal what that is. Okay. This is very interesting. So It feels like the way that this landed, the Knight of Swords, that energy that was thawing in the moon. We talked about the depths of this thawing. It's coming back to me that those were the cards that were with the feminines yesterday. And we talked about the feminine going deeper into thawing parts of her heart. And this is connected with her pulling in her wishes, her dreams, and ultimately the sun. And this tower moment is cracking open, but there's some things in the middle of this dream being pulled in and actualizing. Those are the messages we're going to get. If this is about the sacred feminines really working on all of those parts of their vision. She's been pulling it in, and now she's actually working on embodying it. This was like in the present moment position. But there was these 4 or 5 cards that also fell face down above this. And this feels like a big part of what is happening that we may have not been aware of or privy to is what's coming before I even flip them. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Alrighty then. So we have that 7 of Cups that came in yesterday with the masculine side, choosing that highest timeline. And right next to each other and together, the Emperor and the Empress. God, like you really can't make this up. Like you just witnessed this process. I wouldn't have picked those cards in that order. The only way we got them in this way was the way that they flew out on the floor, which to me, it just signifies and reiterates the importance of allowing divine timing and this process of this energy of reaching for that highest timeline. And it feels like both energies, the Emperor and the Empress, the divine masculine and divine feminine, have been both choosing. And as the feminines have been reaching for the higher power, the masculines have been reaching for the highest timeline, and vice versa, because we're doing these energies internally. Continue, regardless of how you identify. If you wanted more confirmation about how important your focus on your part, your internal union, grounding and solidifying your part of the dream, just how incredibly important it is, and how it is coming to fruition in your highest version, even when you're not able to see it, my loves. And look at this. Behind the sun was the 2 of Cups. And then, like I said, the Tower card. This feels like where these energies are in process of being grounded. And as they ground and land and process, this opens up into the physical world union. Okay, my loves. This feels very beautiful. We also have 6 or 7 major arcana on the table, which when there's major arcanas represent the divine order, the divine guidance, where the divine higher spirit is what is in control of what is occurring. Again, can't make this up. There was clearly a reason I was meant to share this message today. I actually didn't even intend to come on and do a video, but given all of this, the bottom line, it feels like keep going, keep letting everything process as necessary, as needed, as it comes up, and keep trusting yourself, trusting your path. Know that all of your dreams, those things that you felt were your purpose, your mission, and meant for you, or whatever way you connect with that, just keep allowing it to sync up with you, my loves. And for those of you who are going to join me in the sacred circle of love soon, I'm very much looking forward to connecting with you in these energies of divine sacred alignment and supporting these energies together. All right, my loves, you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.